It's the host with the most ADHD, which is why I created this format of the Hot Seat for the C-Suite. I am Stefan, and today we are doing another edition of the VIPs of the MSP. And today we have another VIP with us. I'm so thankful that Dan Candee from Cork Cyber has decided to sit his butt in the hot seat. Welcome, Dan.
It's great to be here, brother.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. All right. Well, the whole deal is that we got 8 really direct questions, and Dan's prepared for 60-second questions. We're going to put the clock up on the screen. There it is. And so let's get into it. Dan, where do you sit in the MSP ecosystem, and who specifically are you serving?
Yeah, you bet. Cork sits inside the MSP stack as the risk integration and intelligence layer, and then we wrap the whole thing up with financial protection, really so that the client's cash stays in the bank account. The way I like to think about it is that we're an inside-out X-ray that shows MSPs what's actually broken before the attacker finds it first. So essentially, we're serving the MSPs who are done selling hope as a service and ready to sell proof.
I love that. Hope as a service. Beyond outsource IT, what is the high stakes business problem that you solve specifically for that client?
I think MSPs are at a point where they're done just talking technology and they're really operating as business leaders, servicing business leaders. And in order to do that, you got to be able to talk more than just technology, right? You got to be able to talk confidence on demand. You got to be able to talk dollars on demand. And there's a narrative around that. So, the way that Cork operates, we're tying the dollars to the data. And so we're constantly empowering our partners to be able to work backwards from client business problems. And we do that through our technology.
I love that. Working backwards is one of my favorite things to do from your objective, from your goals. Sometimes it's not always that obvious. I love that your little slogan there, tying data to dollars. That's great stuff. I want to call that out. Next question. What is, if any, your proprietary edge, that unique process, tech stack, or service model that sets you apart from the other people that your prospects would be calling in doing their due diligence to find a partner?
Yeah, think Credit Karma for cybersecurity. Really simple. This is the annualized Cork Score that turns attack surface, volatility, identity friction, threat velocity types of stuff into this automated resilience so that all of the cybersecurity stuff makes sense to our clients, right? Because they don't live in the same world that managed service providers or IT security vendors do. So what we're really trying to do is take all of that and then pair it down to what Cork does with our financial protection, which is sub 1 hour incident payouts. So that suddenly that QBR environment is in a status update. It's a victory lap for our partners.
That's awesome. All right, give us a 60-second, let me reset this clock. Give us a 60-second war story that, an urgent client crisis that you guys handled that's kind of a great example of what people can expect from Cork Cyber.
Yeah, I love this. We got a bunch of them. We publish them all day long because this is what it's all about. West Coast partner, 700 clients, 25,000 endpoints, got hit with a business email compromise. This is in the Pilates world. And in minutes, the partner and Cork were able to respond and limit it to just, I think it was like 15 inboxes. It cost about $6,000 to remediate. That's how much of a check I wrote to our partner by the time we were done with the full autopsy. And so we really got to show up, shut down the bad guys, and show up for our partner. And the best part is the partner billed us, not the client. And so now our partner has a client for life. This partner also uses us to prep for all of those QBRs and make sure that there's sanity when preparing for 700 QBRs and really find efficiency as well.
That's amazing. I can't imagine what that stress is like to manage that many of them. How's AI changing the game for your clients, and how are you using it as a change agent within your own operations?
I mean, everybody wants to talk about AI, but the reality is that AIs, have been AI has handed attackers a 10x productivity boost, or pick up some ridiculous number. And so MSPs are really defending with 2019 playbooks and really bringing a butter knife to the drone strike, if you will. So it's the obligation of companies like mine to take all of the same tools plus and just automate, simplify these things, and then just give even better tools to our partners. So we just make sure all of those windows and doors are closed for our clients, for our partners' clients, so that the bad guys just can't find those things while they're sleeping, while our clients are sleeping. And when they do, that's why we write checks.
And do you have to educate? Do you find yourselves having to kind of do a whole different layer of education for your clients in terms of them not stepping into some AI traps so that before they have to call you for a problem that they created?
Well, it used to be shadow IT, now it's shadow AI, right? And so, it's so much about what we're constantly doing is just highlighting where there is risk, communicating where there is risk, and that's all about education. So we don't sell anything these days, we just educate together. And I think that's really where we add value.
What would you say is your primary growth lever right now, whether it's vertical expansion, M&A, deeper service integration, and what's the biggest obstacle to hitting the goal?
I think integration, deeper channel integration, right? I have 106 integrations today. So basically it's working with our partners and just saying, hey, I cover your stack. Let me make sure that there's no gaps in your stack so that you've got better efficiency with what you've already done. And then, the second part of your question is kind of eliminating noise. So let me help simplify your life, and that's both in eliminating tickets and getting more efficiency with, so that your tech team is able to operate a bit more efficiently, and get some time back with their family.
Yeah, I love it. I am a big believer in whatever you do in trying to sell this right here, because that's what people want for, it doesn't matter what part of their business or what part of their life, they just want to be able to hit the easy button. So if you can basically take some of these really complex, stressful situations, what's great about that, by the way, is people aren't that price sensitive when it's truly an easy button. They'll pay a premium for easy. So the more you can do that for your customers, the more you can charge. Where is your company in 5 years, and what should people be paying attention to next from Cork Cyber?
Yeah, 5 years. The Cork Score is FICO for the MSP industry, right?
Wow.
No stack gets sold without it. No cyber policy gets underwritten without it. No MSP gets acquired without it. We are turning posture into currency. Not a checkbox. We simply must bring financial protection across the board here.
So are you being, I guess, literal in your metaphor that you literally want this to be the FICO score of the industry? So everybody's using it. Competitors would be using your score for their products and services?
Yeah, absolutely. We are very much Switzerland when it comes to thinking about all of the cybersecurity products in this space. There are so many great companies doing similar things. We integrate with all of them. We sit, if you will, above a lot of those products, meaning we don't have an opinion on any particular one. Our partners are the ones making the strategic decisions about whatever their stack is today. So we consolidate all of those things, and then with regard to the FICO or Credit Karma analogy, we have already built that. We built and launched it in January, and then we're backed by Lloyd's of London and work with a number of different cyber insurance and broker components already. So this is being validated by third party.
And I didn't mean to imply that you hadn't built it as much as it's the adoption, because FICO score, which was created by Fair Isaac, can be built, but if not everybody is using it, it's the proverbial tree in the forest falling with nobody around to hear it. So it's really about the industry wanting that Cork score. All right, last question. What is the one thing I didn't ask you about, either your business or the market, that you think I should have?
I'm going to go with confidence. I really think that it's about us together empowering our partners to understand this financial protection piece, and I think that sometimes that's a challenging one. I really want to make sure that partners know that the numbers are on their side and that the money is so critical. The QBR, that involvement, that time between the partner and the client is that most critical touch point. And AI can do this and do that, but there is nothing that can replicate the meeting of business owner and our beloved partners. So that is the intersection of love and performance. And I really believe that is where confidence must sit as well. And I think that's a thing of beauty.
I love that. The intersection of love and what?
Performance.
Performance, love and performance. That is a new one for me. I love it. That might have to be the title of this. Well, you did it. You sat in the hot seat. You answered every question in less than 60 seconds. Dan, I appreciate your preparedness. I appreciate you being on here. And there were so many drops that I could pull from that because you had some great quotes in there. So that is it. Where can people follow up with you? Tell us what your website is for Cork Cyber and where they can find you on LinkedIn.
Yep, corkinc.com. Pretty straightforward. Our team is always of service. Again, we're about education and helping one another out. I love being in the channel because we always get to say yes. So thanks for having us. I do sincerely appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for being here. I appreciate it, Dan. If you folks out there know somebody who is a VIP of the MSP and they should be on my radar, let me know. Easy to find me on LinkedIn or just Google Stefan Lubinsky. And that is it for this episode. Thanks again, Dan. We will see all of you next time.
Peace.